Okay, let's be honest. How many of you have heard some really awful notes played on the banjo? Wow, looks like quite a few of you. Well, in this video we'll go over just where all those awful notes came from and show you the absolute worst banjo note ever. This book, Country Music, is a compilation of the photos and much of the information that was used in the Ken Burns documentary of the same title. In it, you have a picture of Dave Aikman, who was the last person to play banjo before Earl Scruggs joined Bill Monroe's Bluegrass Boys. He was affectionately known as String Bean, and you can see he probably was not too much on the serious side, so his job was to provide some comedy in the band. Here's another player from that era, Grandpa Jones. He wrote tunes like 8 More Miles to Louisville and Mountain Dew, but again, just the way he dressed suggested he also was pretty good at comedy. So then Earl Scruggs came along, and you can see he's the star of the band. He's no longer the comedian. We'll leave that to Brother Josh down here and some of the other members of the band. Roy Clark, through his exposure on the national television show Hee Haw, kind of split the difference because he was a great player, but he also got involved in the comedy. So just how hearing bad notes on the banjo fits in with the comedian's role, Roy Clark had a famous section of the Hee Haw show where he traded off jokes with his buddy Buck Owens on the pickin' and grinnin' part. And when he'd get to the end of the song, he would play the standard shaving a haircut, except he didn't deliver it quite like what you would expect. So here's how the comedy is produced by having an expectation of what you expect to hear, but watch what he did. So now the big moment that everybody's been waiting for. Just what is this note that is the worst possible note you can play on the banjo? Well, typically we are in the key of G. So again, we're going to go on the expectation that you're expecting a certain note. Very famous from the song Dueling Banjos. So when somebody throws that at you, you answer with this. And that note is G sharp. We could try some other notes. Let's see if we can top that. Not bad. So there's some other bad notes, but none of them top. Now, sometimes the way you get out of such a bad note can add a little bit to your performance. So we really are giving you the high dollar performing tips here. We hope you appreciate that. So here's how I do that. Whoa, Nelly, let's see that again slowed down. One last little professional tip that keeps the audience guessing as to whether or not you really know how to play the banjo or not is if you find yourself making a mistake, try to turn around and do that same mistake again. That will really leave them puzzled. So I'm going to kind of go out with a bang here playing a song that everybody learns early on in their playing called Boil 'em Cabbage Down. And see if you don't appreciate some of these high dollar tips that we've given you in this video.